All right, we are live. We are live on multiple pages. We're live on Speed Union TV, my page, Tri-State Pro Stock, Southern Oregon Speedway, Moxie Media Promotions, and up on the bars discussion. So we got a very large group that is going out, and then it's also going to our YouTube page for Tri-State Pro Stocks. Want to get in here and do our race recaps from the weekend of the racing that we know of and what we covered. To kick off the night, we're going to get started with talking about Coos Bay Speedway. I got my friend Anthony on here because this was his first trip going to Coos Bay Speedway. I don't know if he's been to very many dirt tracks across the U.S. or whatever, but it was his first trip to Coos Bay. So I want to get his opinions off the bat and talk a little bit about what you saw there. What did you see when you hopped in there Saturday night? What is the one thing that sticks out in your mind the most when we're talking about it?
Everybody was pretty friendly. The pit section was really, really cool. Everybody was welcoming. They helped everybody get lined up and find a spot. So that was the coolest thing I've ever seen. Just everybody just helping everybody.
Yep. So you've lived in Coos Bay or around that area. You live in Powers, not very far from there. You said you'd driven by there a bunch and never went. What stopped you from going? What can we as racers and promoters and all that do to get you to stop by there?
Well, it's, the promotion and everything that's going down, everything is really good. The thing is, for me, my schedule is the biggest thing. And I know a lot of people in the area, it's scheduling, just the proper times. It seems to work for a lot of people, but just making sure that it coincides, because a lot of the guys out here are loggers. They get home at certain times. So, running the races till about 11 o'clock at night is definitely not going to work for them. So just, running certain hours, maybe something like that would probably entice more people to come.
Well, and I have to give a big shout out because you went to a local restaurant where you need to go, or where you go to eat out all the time, and you brought in a new sponsor for a race that you've never been to, El Coyote Restaurant, which they actually came and attended the races and sat with us too. And I thought that was very, very cool too, as well.
Yeah, what I thought was pretty cool is, you and I went to go help one of the drivers, with the tire situation. The owner of the restaurant was sitting in the stands with us, and he saw us take off running. And he turned around and saw that we were kind of struggling with that tire. He came over there, grabbed the jack, and just went to town. Just helped us. That's not something that's not in anything in his realm. He's a chef. But he grabbed a jack and jumped in there just like the rest of anybody else would.
And his wife had her flashlight out there helping us all. That was Steve Bohr when he got a flat in the main event. So that was.
What was funny is she's the one that caught that there was a broke shock. Nobody else saw it. She saw it.
Yep. So that was very, very cool. So yeah, it was really cool having a sponsor come out, and then we took them out and introduced them to all the drivers in the class and all that. So we had to give a big shout out to Fernando and Tulip from El Coyote Restaurant. They were awesome. I can't say enough good things about that. They did so much for us this weekend. It was awesome over there at Coos Bay Speedway for the Pro Stock Sportsman Shootout. What was your favorite part of the night of on the track? I have to ask.
Well,
I know you took pictures of a certain class of cars, so I'm not going to judge.
Well, I thought those were the cool cars in my eyes. But what really got me was I can't remember her name. I had her name at the top of my head. The little 12-year-old girl that was in the Honda CRX. Mm-hmm. Holy smoke, she can drive. At 12 years old, she's driving that car a lot better than most people drive their normal car.
Yep. So, well, we already got some comments. David Michael Owen said Stockton 99 Speedway's event was amazing Saturday. Davey Munoz, hey guys. Trevor Tiffy, Sport Mod driver, hey buddy. Matt Borup, hey Roy. You guys need to be at 99 Saturday Legends, late models, bombers, and B4s. David, we want to be there. We're working on getting everything, but we have commitments. We honestly weren't 100% committed to Stockton when we started. We had our regular stuff set up, Stockton came on, and then you guys that want us to come down there, it's awesome to see all of that. We're trying to work it out to where we can make things happen. I just don't know if we're going to make it or not. But we're going to get into and talk a little bit about Coos Bay this Saturday night. This past Saturday night was Kenware Chevrolet Night Out is what they called it. Kenware sponsored all the events down there. We had the American Mattress Super Late Models, the Sportsman Pro Stock Shootout, the Three River Casino Street Stocks, the Mini Outlaws, the Hornets, and the Junior Stingers. Matt says, I'm on call for work. I got you. So, but start out in heat race number 1 for the American Mattress Super Late Models. Your heat race 1 winner was Brody Montgomery. In the main event, you had Brody Montgomery picked up the win, Wayne Butler second, Thor Christensen third, Chris Ray fourth, and Jeffrey Leroy Hudson threw his pro stock in with them and finished 5th with the American Mattress Super Late Models. Which, Anthony, I got to tell you, we told you the difference between a super late model and a pro stock. That kid was impressive in that pro stock with the late models, was he not?
Man, he was killing it. I'm like, man, and you know what though? He's a racer.
Yep.
He is a racer, 100%. For him to drive the way he did that night and keep up and he gave them all a fight. So I mean that was awesome.
Yeah, he was under horsepowered, overweight, and kept up with those guys. David, at this point, I don't think we're gonna make it. I don't know yet. We got to look at the schedule for the rest of the week. We got a lot of stuff going on with that. But in the Sportsman Pro Stock Shootout, heat race number 1 went to Justin Riker. I believe Justin was driving Jimmy Owens' car. Heat race number 2, we had Denny Burtonhouse Jr. out of Klamath Falls. Heat race number 3 was Steve Borer out of Klamath Falls as well. For the main event, it was $750 to win for this race, courtesy of El Coyote this weekend. Picking up the main event win was Ryan Emery. I think he's out of Corvallis, Oregon. Justin Riker in Jimmy Owens' car. And third was Johnny Cobb out of Klamath Falls. Fourth was Denny Burtonhouse Jr. out of Klamath Falls, and Scott Flowers out of Klamath Falls as well. Then we moved on to the class that Anthony took all the pictures of. That was the Three Rivers Casino Street Stocks. Heat race 1 went to Toby McIntyre. Heat race number 2 went to Lauren McIntyre. The main event, your top 5 was Kelly McIntyre, Toby McIntyre, Dylan Sywell, Steve Dubassar, and Talon Dubassar. It was cool to see Dylan Sywell again and Steve Dubassar. We got to see them every year when we go over there. It's always cool to see those guys. It was really cool to see Steve Dubassar's son run with him on the race and finish right behind him. That's Talon Dubassar. So that was kind of a family event. We talked about all the family in the Pro Stock group. So that was, you're seeing the next generation of car drivers coming up over there as well. Then we had the Mini Outlaws. This was a cool class of cars. Hands down, the Volkswagen got my vote. I'm going to say this right now. That Volkswagen had it dialed in all night long. So for the Mini Outlaws, heat race number 1 was Tristan Davidson. That was the person driving the Volkswagen. Heat race number 2 went to Bid Van Loon. Cool name. I just say cool name. Bid Van Loon. That's awesome. Colby Hammond says hi, Roy and Anthony. Colby was pitted right next to where we set up. We'll talk about that after we get done, but you got to meet and hang out with Colby. So, but your Mini Outlaws in heat race number 1 was Tristan Davison and Bid Van Loon. Heat race number 2, main event went, first was Tristan Davison. Second was Sam Talon. 3 was Leroy Walkwell. 4th was Jamie Daniels. 5th was Tim Van Loon. Then you had the Hornets. In heat race number 1 was Alexis Baker. Heat race number 2 was Alex Butler. The main event went to Ken Fox. I don't know position number 2. It just says ST Hill. So that's place number 2. Number 3 was Alexis Baker. 4th place was Chris Burton. 5th was Alex Butler. Then we got into the junior Stingers, which I think that's the ones you were talking about. These are 11 and 12-year-old kids out there just tearing it up. Heat race number 1 went to Jeremy Vincent. Heat race number 2 went to Drake Vincent. Main event was Cameron Metzges Position number 2 was Drake Vincent. Third was Taylor Fuller. Fourth was Tanner Dubasar, another Dubasar on the track. And fifth went to Annabelle Van Hoof. So I think the one you were talking about was Taylor Fuller is the one that you were enjoying over there. I think she's the young lady that you were pretty impressed with. So now we all got together, and Anthony likes to cook, and he does some catered events and things like that. So tell us, everybody laughed at you when you come rolling in. Anthony loaded up his pickup with a dang Traeger smoker loaded with brisket. It drove from Powers with the smoker rolling in the back of his pickup and set up a heck of a spread. So tell us about dinner and what all you brought up there. Let's talk about that a little bit.
So yeah, I mean, anybody that smokes brisket knows it's a process, 12 to 15, 16 hours. I got up early that morning and said, heck, man, I'll throw my smoker in my truck so that way I don't have to keep loading it up, and just start it and roll it on the truck. Well, threw my generator in there so that way it could stay running because it's electric pellet smoker, and drove from here to there. And when I got up there, I actually had to stop into town and get some things. I had a couple people take pictures and ask me what I was cooking. And then I get over to the track, and I believe that the representative from NASCAR was there. He walks up and he's taking 3 or 4 pictures of my truck with the smoke barreling out of the smoker. But I just, it's one thing that I love to do. I love cooking. I love doing it, big spread, which, and I think it was a hit.
Yep. I heard nothing but good things. I enjoyed the brisket. I have to tell on myself, I liked your wife's macaroni salad. I'm not a macaroni salad, but it was.
But I sent you a bag to go too.
I know it's already gone, so we'll leave it at that. So yeah, on Monday we went over and celebrated my birthday over at Anthony and Candace's house. They made tri-tip and a big old spread of food there, and a big old fancy chocolate raspberry filled cake. So appreciate it. It was awesome. Still eating on that. Going to have some when we get off air tonight. So, but anyway, any parting thoughts for this, and we'll let you go on about the rest of your night, and I'll continue on with the rest of the show.
No, I just, in this day, I'm going to make my trips out to Willamette Speedway for sure. It's a hidden gem of our area, and Drake puts on a good show out there. He's got reasonable food out there as well. So it's just something that I think me, myself personally, I'm going to start doing, trying to get more sponsors. We get more people, so we'll see how it goes. And everybody that was there, I'll see you guys for sure next year. Somebody send me a spot, and yeah, so just on one thing. So the reason why I took pictures of the certain class of cars is because, me being Hispanic, normally you see those G bodies in lowrider form, not race car form. So it's just, to me, it was just awesome to see them in a different light than what I've seen them my whole life. So that's the reason why I took so many pictures like that. But yeah, that was it, man. I appreciate it, Roy, and thank you for inviting me out there. It was awesome.
Awesome. Glad you enjoyed it, and spread the word around about Coos Bay Speedway, because they're one that's kind of off the beaten path, but great racing facility. So thanks, Anthony. Have a good night, bud.
Thank you.
All right. Bye. All right. So now we're going to move on to Southern Oregon Speedway. Southern Oregon Speedway had their weekly racing there. They had 8 sprint cars there, 16 IMCAs, sport modified, 22 dwarf cars, and 7 mini stocks. Heat race number 1 for the sprint cars went to Tanner Holmes. Heat race number 2 went to Enrique Jaime. Trophy dash winner was Tanner Holmes. The main event, first was Tanner Holmes. Second was Jake Wheeler. Third was Enrique Jaime. Fourth was Ryan Hirschbach. And fifth was Austin South from Coos Bay. So going into your sport modifieds, our IMCA sport modifieds, heat race number 1 went to Brandon Wisen. Heat race number 2 was Tyler Rogers. Heat race number 3 was Ryan Peary. Oh, the trophy dash was Tyler Rogers. Your main event was Travis Peary. I think that was main event number 23 or 24 for the season for him. Second went to Ethan Killingsworth. Third was Tyler Rogers. Fourth was Brandon Winson. I can't read my writing. And fifth was Jace Wright. So apologize, I didn't write very clean. So then you had your dwarf cars. Heat race number 1 went to Josh King. Heat race number 2 was Camden Robustelli. Heat race 3 was Devin LaHorgue. They didn't run a trophy dash, so their main event winner was Calvin Morton. Congratulations, Calvin Morton. Second was Josh King. Third was Camden Robustelli. Fourth was Devin LaHorgue, and fifth was Colby Bergquist. In your minis, heat race number 1 went to Scott Yurgis. Your main event was Ashton Hedges, Scott Yurgis, Dylan Irving, Tim Hedges, and Brandon Wansled. And that's how they finished up at Southern Oregon Speedway for this weekend. All right, so now we're going to move to Stockton 99. Stockton 99 had the Night of Champions tribute to Steve Bolletto. So they had your junior B4s, and the main event went to Scotty Crawford. Second went to Lonnie Sprinkle. Third was Natalie Harper. So then we're going to move into the Baker Roofing Bombers. Heat race number 1 went to Brandon Jones. The dash went to Seth Holman. In your main event, finished up with Seth Holman in first, Brandon Jones second, Casey Phillips third, fourth was Jerry Crawford, fifth was Troy Watts. Then you had your B4s. Heat race number 1 for your B4s went to Joe Flowers. Heat race number 2 went to Andy Rumsey. I didn't see what he ran, so I bet he was running the pink Hello Kitty. Your dash went to Joe Flowers. Your main event was Joe Flowers. Second was Josh Cross. Third was Andy Rumsey. Fourth was Ethan Rumsey. And fifth was Barrett Sugden. So then they went on to the Lavoti Incorporated late models. First was Sam Solari. Second was JoJo Stearns. Third was Gary Schaefer Jr. Fourth was Ty Carlson. And fifth was John Moore. So then we're going to move up to Willamette Speedway. Willamette Speedway had 2 days of racing, August 6th and August 7th. It was Claire Cup. So they had run qualifying events for the Sunday race. Qualifier heat race number 1 went to Rob Campos. Qualifier heat race number 2 went to Jason Johnson. Your trophy dash winner was Rob Maya. Then you had your super sports there. Heat race 1 went to Steve Moore. Your main event was Randy Barley first. Second was Brandon Leto. Third was Greg Heinrichs. Fourth was Brian Winkler. Fifth was Michael Byron. They also ran the Sportsman that night. Heat race number 1 went to James Slover. The trophy dash went to James Slover. And to wrap it up for the clean sweep, main event went to James Slover. Second in the main event was Trevor Mackey. Third was Chad Slover. Fourth was Talon Rogers. And fifth was Dave Bennett. They also ran IMCA Sport Compacts there. Heat race number 1 went to Eli Miller. Heat race number 2 was Bodie Schinkel. Your trophy dash winner in the Sport Contacts was Eli Miller. Your main event was Eli Miller for a clean sweep, won his heat race, trophy dash, and main event. Second was Bodie Schinkel. Third was Barry Cannon. Fourth was Bruce Miller. And fifth was Dominic Conti. So moving on to August 7th, that's when they had the Claire Cup. It was 81-lap main event for the late models. But they ran a last chance qualifier. First for your last chance qualifier was Greg Waters. When I butcher this name, I apologize ahead of time. Second was McLean Bowden. Third was Colin Weinberger. So then you move into the actual Claire Cup, the 81 lap super late model main event. We saw the streak in for I forgot the name. I'll remember it in just a minute. So we'll just go through. One was Joey Tanner. That's who the streak ended for. He broke a left rear shock mount. So, but the winner for the Claire Cup was Rob Maya. Second was Jesse Williamson. Third was Darren Koffel. Fourth was Colin Weinberger. And fifth was Doug Elkins. In your IMCA modifieds, heat race number 1 went to Mike Swear. Your trophy dash winner was Carter Patterson. Main event win went to Matthew Drager. Second was Colin Weinberger. Third was Bryson James. Fourth was Jesse Williamson. Fifth was Paul Culp. Your IMCA Sport Modifieds heat race number 1 went to Tanner Crowling. Your Trophy Dash winner was Tanner Crowling. Your main event went to Trevor Points. Second was Aaron Bloom. Third was Doug Kaufman. Fourth was Travis Pruitt. Fifth was Marilyn Hardy Ashley. Somebody just from there, hey, Roy, from Napa to Coos Bay, need how many hours to be there? Man, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, sir. I'd have to look it up. I'll have to get back to you. All right. So then you had your street stocks. Heat race number 1 went to Doug Scott. Heat race number 2 went to Taunton Swaim. Trophy Dash went to Dakota Goddard. Dakota Goddard picking up the Trophy Dash win. Moving on into the main event. Main event went to Dakota Goddard. Second went to Taunton Swaim. Third was Rod McCombs. Fourth was Phil Laverne. And fifth was Kyle Cohen. Your IMCA stock cars. Heat race number 1 was Donald Scott. Second was, Donald Schott. Sorry, I want to make sure I get that wrong. Right. Heat race number 2 was Sid Schott. Trophy Dash winner for the stock cars was Dakota Goddard. Your main event went to Burke Elkins. Second was Dakota Goddard. Third was Jeff Lovell. Fourth was Zach Simpson. Fifth was Greg Osborne. So now let's go into what we call, and I'm stealing the name from my buddy Stephen Blakesley here. We're going to go to what's on the radar. What's on the radar for this weekend? We have the Tri-State Pro Stocks. The Tri-State Pro Stocks, number 1 up, will be at Petaluma Speedway. They'll be racing for 1,000 to win and 100 to start at Petaluma Speedway. This race is being sponsored by Rick Workman at Workman's Communications. So thank you, Rick, for what you do to help support the Tri-State Pro Stocks. The following weekend on August 20th, we are going to be racing at Ocean Speedway at Watsonville, California. That race will be $1,250 to win, $150 to start for the Tri-State Pro Stocks. We are going to be on with the Johnny Key Classic, one of the longest running sprint car shows on the West Coast, and a tribute to Johnny Key. So looking forward to that. Now, coming up this weekend at Southern Oregon Speedway, there's 2 days of racing, August 12th and August 13th. So Friday and Saturday, we will be up that's at Southern Oregon Speedway. We have the super late models, the IMCA Modifieds, IMCA Sport Modifieds on the first night. That's August 12th. August 13th, you're going to see the super late models, the IMCA Modifieds, and the mini stocks. We will have that available to you on Speed Union TV. That's speeduniontv.com. So we will be covering that. Stockton 99 is running this weekend as well. It's August 13th. It's a double points night. You're going to have the Labodie Incorporated late models, the Baker Roofing Bombers, the B4s, Junior B4s, and the Legends Touring Series. That's going to be at Stockton 99 Speedway in Stockton, California. Willamette Speedway, you're going to have to pay attention to their schedule this week and see they're doing some adjustments on their schedule. Right now, they're working to try to get 12 sprint cars on the schedule. They need 12 sprint cars to run a $1,500 to win, $200 to start show. The rules will be IHS rules with an open tire rule, and this will be a non-points race. But if you want to see what's going on at Willamette Speedway this weekend, check out WillametteSpeedway.com, or you can check out Moxie Media and Productions. Their schedule and all their adjustments will be done there. Coos Bay will be not racing at the Circle Track this weekend. They have Bikes, Bugs, and Show and Shine. But on August 15th, they will be back with the ISCS sprint cars, the Three River Casino stock cars, the Hornets, and the Pro Dwarf cars, and limited wing sprint cars. So that's what's going on over till about the August 15th out here on the West Coast and everything that Speed Union's working with. So thank you, guys. Thank you for all the comments. If you got any questions, reach out. We'll certainly try to answer them for you. Matt Bora, message me off air, and I'll try to get you an answer from Napa to Coos Bay, because I'm not entirely sure how far it is at all. Never been that way. And thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you at the races this weekend. Keep in mind, big 2-day show at Southern Oregon Speedway. It's always better in person, so make it to the raceway. Same with Willamette Speedway. Petaluma Speedway, we will not be covering that on Speed Union. We don't have a deal with them for streaming. You can catch that. I think it's NorCal Speed TV. That is their streaming service at the racetrack, or it will be on Flow Racing as well. So thank you guys and have a great night.